So today we're talking about entrepreneurship, and I think without missing a beat, one should remember that entrepreneurship is the way forward for India. We don't have so many jobs that can be created by private organizations or government alone, and hence people need to think of entrepreneurship as a viable career option. Now, why entrepreneurship at B schools or for the MBA students? Now, the very core of entrepreneurship is to create a business on your own, where you are the owner of your firm, where you're trying to do something that others have not been able to do before. And an MBA education equips you with two things. The first thing that the MBA education equips you with is the right mindset. And the second thing is the conceptual understanding. So let me talk about the mindset first of all. There are three important aspects that research advocates that entrepreneurs are made up of. The first is risk-taking propensity. In fact, it is not so much about the risk-taking propensity as much as the ability to manage risk that makes entrepreneurs stand out from the normal models. Now, the mindset of a risk taker or a risk manager is very different from somebody who is risk averse. And this can be cultivated through a B school education very systematically, wherein you participate with your other colleagues in various events, you go and make presentations to the companies outside, you do so many other activities during the 2 years of your stay at the B school where you develop those appetites. The second dimension of entrepreneurship, which is very, very important, is your networking abilities. Now, because in a B school setup, you not only meet several students from different parts of the country, but also you go about meeting corporate, meeting students from other B schools, other engineering colleges, and maybe even exchange students from outside of India. So your ability to network becomes very important, and this eventually leads into growth of your business. And the third dimension, which I think is the most important aspect, is curiosity. A curious mindset allows you to find opportunities where others miss out on such opportunities. For example, let's talk about Ola cabs. Now, Ola was certainly not the first company to offer cab services in India. There were so many cab companies, right, in all metros in the country. But what Ola observed is a gap where people can pay as they use the taxis, plus it can be an aggregator of so many taxi drivers and so many taxi owners across the city, and as a result it is very successful. So the three things of the mindset are the risk-taking abilities or the risk managing abilities, the networking abilities, and the third dimension is the genuine sense of curiosity, which comes with questioning and observing. Now, coming down to the content or the conceptual understanding of what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Once again, I would restrict myself to three very core conceptual understanding. The first is that of strategy. The second dimension is that of product management. And the third dimension is sales and marketing management. Now, what is strategy? One of the simplest definition of strategies which I have come across, which I borrowed from this book called The Art of War by Sun Tzu. The book says that strategy is about winning a war without fighting the war, which means that you have to devise a ploy such that you can carve a very neat market share out of the jaws of competition and make your customers happy, and while doing so you can still make a lot of money. So that is about strategy, strategic thinking, strategic tools and techniques, strategic frameworks and methods that come very handy to you. The second dimension is sales and marketing. In sales and marketing, we talk about the very importance of how do you take your product all the way to the market. How do you price it well? How do you market it? What are the unique value propositions? Why should somebody really pay any amount of money to buy your product? And in between strategy and sales and marketing comes a very important aspect of product development or product management. Now, don't mistake product with a physical manifestation. A product could also be a service. And what is very important for you to understand is that a product or a service embeds the value that the customer is ready to pay you a money against. And hence, the mindsets and the conceptual understanding both make you a better entrepreneur than somebody who has not gone through the professional education. And hence, I strongly advocate that a B school is perhaps the epitome of where entrepreneurs get created. So don't just think of jobs at the end of the 2 years of a period where you sit for placements as the only viable career option, but I would rather insist that entrepreneurship or self-business in whatever capacity you could muster is a very viable business opportunity.